when you have a gift to share with the rest of the world, but for some reason you believe that you are not being taken too seriously, don't beg for attention. This is what this video is all about. Don't beg for attention. Instead, do what I'm going to share with you in the next few minutes, all right? Dimitri, let's get right into it. The tendency when we have something to sell and nobody's actually paying attention or giving us the amount of attention we believe that we should be getting is to slowly but surely start believing that what we have to offer is not that important. You will start to unconsciously devaluing what you carry and start believing that the only way for you to get a piece of attention or a piece of the market share is by simply getting on your knees. Start begging for people's attention. And that's a big mistake, because you want to know why. Life is a chess game. More specifically, life is a mind game that's taking place in a boardroom where the people who need, I'm not even talking about want, who need what you have to offer are simply waiting for you to start devaluing yourself. And when you start doing that, they will simply revert to the oldest trick in the book, which is buy low and sell high. Again, they will try to buy you low and sell high. They will try to get you to a place where they will intentionally ignore you. They will intentionally turn their backs and pretend that what you have to say doesn't matter. They will intentionally ignore your emails. They will intentionally ignore your presentation. They will intentionally be on the cell phone while you're speaking. Why? Because they simply want you to start doubting yourself. And when you start doubting yourself, when the seeds of doubt are plenty within your mind, if your mind is not strong, what will happen is you will let the seeds find a place where they can incubate. And next thing you know, you start wondering, my goodness, do I really have all that it takes to win the business of these people that I'm trying so hard to actually pay attention to me? And before you know it, you start devaluing yourself and simply say, yes, whatever amount of money you want to offer, I'm going to take it, because at the end of the day, I have to go eat. So you can do whatever you want, but as long as we can do business. And that, you know what, that happens in most places as far as life is concerned. But as far as you are concerned, I will simply say, don't beg for people's attention. Don't beg for anyone's attention. Instead, here's what you have to do. The principle is simply the following. Be as be. The first thing you have to do is be. You have to believe in your own greatness. You have to believe that what I'm carrying is something of great value. You have to believe that you are indeed invaluable. You have to believe that you are the game changer that the industry is waiting for. You have to believe that what you're carrying is so unique that the world is basically just wondering when you're going to show up. You have to believe that with every fiber in your being. You have to believe that, yes, I'm carrying something of great value. I am someone. I may not have anything, but I am someone, and I have the right to be here. That's the first B. You have to believe in your greatness. S stands for what? You have to simply show up. You have to show up no matter what. Whether you feel like it or don't, you have to show up. When it's your time to show up, you have have to show up. Regardless of whatever attention or lack thereof you're actually getting, you have to simply show up. That's number 2. Last but not least, as you show up, my friend, simply commit to doing one thing. Do your very best. Do your very best. And these 3 steps, basically, BSB, you have to develop the discipline. Number 1, to believe in your greatness. Number 2, to show up. Number 3, you have to develop the discipline to simply be your very best. Show up and give your very best. So again, BSB, when you do that, my friend, I will simply tell you one key thing. It's not a matter of if, but simply a matter of when. The world is simply going to catch up and simply say, yes, we can no longer ignore this particular voice. We have to find a way now to do business with so-and-so, not on our terms, but on their terms. And that's how you are simply going to create a win-win situation and go to the table to discuss with them on equal level as opposed to from a place of disadvantage. And this is absolutely key. Let me just give you one example and I'm going to stop right there. In 1963, in America, something really dramatic took place. America, the most powerful country in the world, witnessed something completely unprecedented. A sitting president was assassinated. And the world was started wondering, if the president of the most powerful country can be assassinated so easily, what about the rest of the world? The world was shaking. Americans were shaking. They did not know what was going to happen next. And while America was still trying to find a way to reconcile its greatness with this completely crazy situation, a young man who was barely 23 years old decided to simply believe in his own greatness, to show up and be the best he could be. He wrote a song that came to be released in 1964. And the song simply says, things are changing. And people started wondering, how could such depth could come from such a young man? How could such wisdom could come out of this young man? Where exactly was he getting this knowledge, these lyrics from? The world was completely shocked. But they did not know what to do with this young man. They could not ignore him. But at the same time, they could not take him too seriously because he was only barely 23 years old. But the young man simply said, it may take you some time, but in the meantime, I'm going to maintain this discipline to believe in the greatness I'm actually carrying. Number 1. Number 2, I'm going to maintain this discipline to show up no matter what. No matter how lukewarm your response could be, I'm simply going to show up. Last but not least, he simply gave himself permission to maintain this discipline to simply be the best he could be. It took the world another 9 years before they could bestow on this young man his first Grammys in 1973. But you know what? The young man kept showing up. The young man kept believing in his own greatness. The young man kept simply giving the very best he could as far as what he was carrying is concerned. And from that point, my friend, it was only a matter of time before 9 other Grammys would simply find themselves basically knocking on his door, simply saying, Mr. Bob Dylan, you are indeed a great man, and we need to simply recognize what you've been carrying all along. And as if that were not enough, even Stockholm came knocking, simply saying, my goodness, Mr. Bob Dylan would like to bestow upon you this amazing prize called, oh my goodness, the Nobel Prize, because you've taken the world from one level to the next level. It took some time, but eventually they came to recognize his greatness. If you've been enjoying this video, please make sure to share it with as many people as possible. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that next time we put together a video, you can be amongst the first one to see it. Alright, now back to our presentation. Now back to you. So no matter what could be happening to you right now, the level of attention or lack thereof you're getting from the people, the intended audience for what you're doing, no matter what could be happening, I'm simply here to tell you, you have to maintain the discipline to simply believe in your own greatness. You have to maintain that discipline no matter what. Day in, day out, you have to maintain this discipline to look at yourself, through the filters of greatness. You have to look yourself through the filters of greatness. You have to say to yourself, I know they may be looking at me in a funny way. It's okay. They're ignoring me, but it's okay. But I have to maintain this posture of greatness. I have to look at myself through these glasses. I have to simply go back to the mirror and simply say, my goodness, you are absolutely fantastic. You are greatness made flesh. This is the discipline that you have to maintain as far as who you are is concerned. That's number one. Believe in your greatness. Number two, maintain the discipline to show up. Last but not least, maintain the discipline to simply give your very best. All right? My goodness, I'm going to stop right here. Before I go, just a reminder. You are a man, a woman of significance. But in order for that significance to be manifested, you simply have to flip the switch in your brain, in your mind, so you can actually start seeing yourself differently. And from that point, my friend, maintain the discipline to simply believe in your own greatness, maintain the discipline to show up, and maintain the discipline to simply give your very best and be the very best you could be as far as your own industry is concerned. And the rest, my friend, is simply history. History that you are already writing as far as what you're doing is concerned. You are more than you can possibly imagine. Much love. Take good care.